is here with me in the studio. Hi, Will.
Hi, Aurora.
So you're starting off with Google because 10 years ago it hit the stock market, and since then a lot of things have changed.
That's right. It's evolved far beyond being just an internet search engine. Its initial public offering in 2004 gave the company a market cap of $23 billion, enough to make instant millionaires out of 1,000 employees. Not bad for a company whose first office was in a garage. 10 years after its IPO, Google has 52,000 employees, 20 times its workforce a decade ago. Its projected revenue for this year tops $67 billion. It has over 250 acquisitions, including Android, Maps, and YouTube. And Delano D'Souza looks at what's next for the company.
Search engine which over the course of a decade has become so much more. 10 years after its listing on Wall Street, Google continues to reshape its business. The company has become a leader in email, maps, video sharing, and mobile computing. Through its Android software, Google has stepped up its fight for dominance in wearable technology with its rival Apple. The company has already announced plans to computerize watches and glasses.
We're right at the beginning in a new phase in the miniaturization of technology, which means that it's finally possible to make a powerful computer small enough to wear comfortably on your body all day long. And there's a huge opportunity to bring rich user experiences to these devices.
Since its listing, Google's market value has risen to nearly $400 billion. And it's because of its deep pockets the company has managed to revolutionize technology. Google plans to roll out a driverless car by 2020. And in June this year, it announced it would place its Android software in vehicles, taking its fight with Apple to another field.
And over 25 car brands have signed up to ship Android Auto in the near future. What's more, the first cars with Android Auto will be rolling off dealer lots before the end of this year.
In January, the company acquired smoke detector Nest Labs for $3 billion, a move which will likely see Google physically expanding its footprint from people's everyday lives into their homes.
Well, let's take a look at Wall Street, which closed only moments ago. Tensions were eased over the Ukrainian crisis, boosting trading, as did some positive economic data out of the U.S. The U.S. cost of living appears to be flat, even as the economy is improving, and home construction also rose nearly 16% in July. That brought a fifth day of gains for the Nasdaq, that bringing it to a 14-year high. The S&P and the Dow both finished up as well. Well, investors are calm for the moment, shaking off some of the worries over Ukraine, but the crisis is having a noticeable effect on the Russian economy. Already hurting from Western sanctions, now it seems Russia is suffering from its own ban of Western food. In St. Petersburg, food has increased some 10%, according to the city's economic policy chief, and that inflation was even before the impact of the sanctions. The hike is even more dramatic for staples like pork and chicken, both of which have risen well over 20%. Now, Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev said Monday that he did not expect the ban would raise the prices of food, but also that he hoped the ban wouldn't last longer than a year. Well, Russia has also had to prepare for life without credit cards like Visa and MasterCard. Banks were scrambling to find a means to accept a payment system to fill the vacuum. Earlier in the year, Russian President Vladimir Putin suggested the country would develop its own system, but those plans never seemed to get off the ground. The country appears to have found an alternative. It's China Union Pay. Some banks are saying the Chinese payment system is the only alternative, but it will take time to get it up to steam. Let's take a brief look now at some company news. We begin with BHP Billiton unveiling its long-awaited restructuring plan. It will create a more than €10 billion new metals and mining company. The world's biggest mining firm also saw a 23% increase in annual profits to €10 billion. That still fell shy of analysts' expectations. And Steve Ballmer has stepped down as the director of Microsoft. His departure ends a more than 30-year association with the software giant, 14 of which were as CEO before he handed the reins to Satya Nadella. One of the reasons he was stepping down was the demands of the upcoming professional basketball season. Ballmer, of course, recently bought the Los Angeles Clippers team for $2 billion. Well, Steve Ballmer might come out of retirement for this last story. I know it would make me want to. The University of Cambridge is looking for someone to study chocolate, but you have to have a PhD, and whoever that lucky person is will investigate the properties of chocolate, which, quote, has a melting point close to that of the human body to remain solid and retain qualities sought by consumers when it is stored and sold in warm climates. I don't know about you, Aurora, but studying chocolate and getting paid for that's something that could make me think about heading to the UK.
Absolutely. And I love chocolate. Aren't we all chocoholics, though, really? All right, and it's time now for Media Watch. Thank you very much for that, Will. And our very own James Creedon has rushed